Okay, so picture this. You're graduating university, right? But you're not just walking away with a degree. You've got this whole toolkit of AI skills ready to launch your career.
Wow.
That's the big idea they're shooting for at MEF University in Turkey.
Really?
Yeah, they want to be the first completely AI integrated university in the whole country.
Ambitious.
Ephesus, you shared their AI policy doc with us, so let's dive into that, see what it's all about.
Yeah, what strikes me is how they're not afraid of AI at all. They're not shying away from it or anything. They see it as like a tool to really change how education works, and their policy shows that. It's very forward thinking.
Yeah, and it's comprehensive. They're even doing stuff like they've got this AI cafe.
It's an AI cafe.
Students and staff can go there and use like all these top tier AI tools, the ones you usually got to pay for, totally free. Yeah, levels the playing field,
Yeah.
right? Makes these resources available to everyone.
Huge. That shows real commitment, not just talking about it, but baking it into the whole university experience, teaching, research, you name it. And it's not just giving them the tech, it's making sure they can actually use it well.
Right, like they're not just throwing them in the deep end. One thing that I thought was really interesting was their whole approach to citing AI.
Oh, interesting.
They're already thinking about like, okay, what happens when students are using AI to generate content? How does that work with academic integrity, with plagiarism, all of that? It's like they're ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and they're not leaving it up to each professor to figure out on their own either. They've got a dedicated AI committee, people from all over the university, researchers, data security folks, even students, to provide guidance and make sure it's done right.
So they've thought this through.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It's impressive. They even talk about how AI could change that dynamic between the student and the teacher, almost like AI becomes another participant in the classroom.
Huh, like a silent partner.
Yeah, in a
It's
way.
interesting.
Like having a personal tutor available all the time, but then it makes you think, what does that mean for the professor's role?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
And this is where their idea of, I think it's called constructive alignment in university teaching
Mm.
comes in, right?
Yeah, they mentioned that a few times in the document. What exactly does that mean? How do they apply that?
So it's basically about shifting away from old school teaching methods.
Mm.
Instead of just memorizing facts, it's about those skills that are really valuable in a world powered by AI. Like, let's say you're in a history class, right? Instead of just memorizing dates, you might use AI to dig into old documents, figure out different historical arguments, maybe even create some kind of interactive timeline, stuff like that.
So it's not just about the what's of history, it's about the how.
Exactly. It's about thinking critically, solving problems, being creative, things AI can't just do for you.
It's almost like AI could push professors to become even better teachers, focusing on those uniquely human parts of education that AI can't replicate, that mentorship, that critical analysis, fostering a genuine love of learning.
Precisely. And that's crucial because it's not just about tech skills. MEF emphasizes critical thinking, being able to sort fact from fiction in this world of AI-generated content. They know students need to be discerning.
It's like not replacing human intelligence, but figuring out how to use AI to take it to that next level.
Exactly. And they're doing this in a way that actually supports Turkey's national AI strategy. They see themselves as key players in building up that AI workforce, contributing to the whole ecosystem.
It's almost like they're not just preparing students for an AI future, they're actively trying to shape what that future will look like.
That's a great way to put it. It's one of the things that makes what they're doing so compelling. They're not just reacting, they're on the front foot, shaping how AI develops and integrates into the world.
It's amazing how they're tying it all together, like their AI policy is part of this bigger national strategy in Turkey.
Yeah, and it's like they're setting themselves up as this hub for AI innovation in the country.
Right, and they actually talk about working with companies, with businesses to create these AI-based learning experiences.
That's smart.
So it's not just theoretical, it's like how is AI actually being used in the real world?
That's brilliant. That way, students are learning the skills that companies are looking for, right? It's like a direct line to a job in AI.
Totally.
And it's not even just that. They also want to encourage more internships with these AI startups, getting that hands-on experience.
It's so important because learning about AI, it's not just about, reading a textbook. It's about actually building stuff, testing it out, making those real-world connections.
And they get that. That practical side is so key for really understanding AI.
It makes you think, though, about all this AI integration. What about those, I don't know, maybe more traditional academic skills?
Like what?
Like writing a really strong argument, but without using AI to help you.
Right, right. It's a question a lot of people have. But their policy actually addresses that directly.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. They're not saying everyone should just rely on AI prompts and that's it.
So they still see the value in human creativity and critical thinking.
Oh, absolutely. They're very clear that these skills, you know, critical thinking, information literacy, communication, they're still essential, even more so in a world with AI.
It's about finding that balance, right, where AI enhances those core skills, not replaces them.
Exactly. Which brings us back to that idea of constructive alignment in university teaching.
Right, right. We touched on that earlier, but can you give us an example of how that might actually look in a classroom?
Sure, sure. Imagine, like, a literature class. But instead of just analyzing the text itself, students are using AI tools to explore different interpretations, uncover themes that might be hidden, maybe even generate new creative writing based on the original.
Oh, wow. So the AI isn't doing the thinking for them, but it's giving them these new ways to approach the material.
Exactly. It lets them engage with it on a deeper level, really think critically, be more creative.
It could even change how professors teach, how they design their classes.
Totally. AI tools could help them create more engaging learning experiences, ones that are tailored to each student.
Wow, so many possibilities. But, as much as we're talking about the potential here, and it is huge, we have to acknowledge that there are challenges too, right? Putting this into practice isn't always easy.
Oh, of course. Yeah. There are definitely hurdles, things to be careful of.
Like, how can we make sure these AI tools are being used responsibly, ethically, by students, by faculty?
That's huge. And MEF actually tackles that head on. They have whole sections in their policy dedicated to that, to responsible AI use, data privacy, making sure it's not used to cheat or anything like that.
Because they're thinking ahead, trying to get out in front of any potential problem.
Exactly. It's not just about throwing the tech at the problem and hoping for the best. They're really thinking about the ethics, putting safeguards in place.
That's good to hear.
And what I really appreciate is they acknowledge that this is ongoing. It's not like, here's the AI policy, we're done. It has to evolve as our understanding of AI evolves.
That's key. It's not about having all the answers right now. It's about being ready to adapt, to learn as we go.
Exactly. That attitude, that openness to learning, it might be the most important lesson we can take from them, honestly.
It's like they're showing everyone the way forward, how to approach this whole AI thing with responsibility and vision.
Absolutely. Ambitious, but also very grounded. They see the potential, but also the very real challenges that come with it.
It's really inspiring, to see them taking this on in such a proactive way,
Mm.
but also responsibly.
Yeah, that commitment to always learning and adapting, that's huge.
And they're not shying away from the tough stuff either. Like, they talk about making sure everyone has equal access to these AI tools.
Right, that's crucial. They get that if not everyone has the chance to learn about AI and use it, it could actually make things less equal.
Exactly. It's like AI has the potential to level the playing field, but only if everyone gets a chance, right?
Totally. And it's
Mm.
not just talk. They're putting it into practice.
Yeah.
Like that AI cafe we were talking about. That's huge. Everyone on campus can use those tools for free.
It's such a good idea. But, access is just the first step, isn't it?
Exactly. You've got to make sure people, students, and faculty
Yeah.
actually feel confident using the tools.
So it's not enough to just give them the keys to the car and say, good luck.
Right. It's like you
Yeah.
need that AI literacy, that whole culture of learning.
Yeah.
And MEF gets that. They're putting on training, workshops, support, making it so people feel comfortable actually using AI in their work.
Not just handing them a textbook on machine learning and saying, figure it out.
Exactly. More like giving them the map, the driving lessons, maybe even some insurance, just in case.
That's a great analogy. And it speaks to how thorough they're being.
Right. It's clear they've really thought about not just what they want to do, but how to make it happen and how to do it right.
It's ambitious, but also very practical. Like, they're acknowledging that this is complex, this isn't simple.
Exactly. It's not like there's one solution that fits everyone in every situation. It's about that balance between the tech and the human side of things.
Which I guess brings us back to that big question, what does it even mean to be well-educated in this day and age, with AI changing everything?
A million-dollar question, right? And MEF might not have all the answers, but they're giving us a good framework to start figuring it out.
Totally. Like, all that stuff about critical thinking, being adaptable, thinking about ethics, those are things that are always going to be important no matter how advanced AI gets.
Couldn't agree more. It's not just about the tech itself. It's about understanding what it means for us, for society. How do we use it to make things better?
Because at the end of the day, AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
It's on us, all of us, to make sure we're steering it in the right direction.
And that's what makes what MEF is doing so important. They're not just talking about the future, they're building it.
Right. It's really encouraging to see.
It's like a reminder that the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create. And if we do it together with that spirit of collaboration, making sure everyone's included, that's how we harness the power of AI to build something amazing for everybody.
I love that. I'm actually excited for the future after reading this document. It's really got me thinking.
Yeah, MEF has given us a lot to think about, that's for sure. And I'm sure our listeners have thoughts too, so many different perspectives on this. If you're listening, we'd love to hear from you. What gets you fired up about AI in education? What worries you? Head over to our website, our social media. Let's keep this conversation going.
Yes. Keep exploring. Keep learning.
And keep diving deep.